All right, I'm going to have to pull up my screen so we won't be able to see ourselves for a little bit.
Okay.
That probably won't hurt your feelings. All right, so scheduling information for this week. Now, remember, we are still using allocations from August. So we're still doing August allocations are still going on for this week. Typically happens when I have another month. It's usually the second full week of the month is when the September's allocations take effect. So this is all still based on any allocations they would have had for August. So keep that in mind. Oh, wait, forgot something. Forgot something. Let's go over this. What?
Okay.
All right, so let's go over this just as a reminder. Order bank means that's where orders are placed, whether it be a stock or retail order. Retail order is a customer placed order, which is what you guys have if you're watching this. Stock order is what a dealer puts in for stock inventory. Like right now, we're actually looking for lightning retail orders because we have allocations next month, and we have to put some. We had to put some stock orders in today for lightnings because we're afraid we're going to get some. We won't get those. We need to use those allocations. Priority codes that a dealer chooses the retail priority codes as well as stock priority codes. They could be anywhere from a 03 now to 19, and then stock ones are 20 to 80. The lower, the better, of course. So that way, if you have a retail one, retails will always look at before a stock because the number is lower than the stock, which starts at 20. Scheduling, which is what we're talking about here, we're about ready to talk about. That's when Ford schedules an order that's in the order bank for production dates in the future months. So we'll talk about when, like, for example, Mustang is scheduling for the month of October this week. So we'll talk about that. So it's always a day in the futures. Production dates, a lot of times you'll get either scheduled to you'll hear scheduled the week, maybe you'll hear scheduled to the day. That's when Ford plans to build your vehicle or your order specification. Allocation, that is Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. So if a dealer earns an allocation based on what they sell on the prior month or what they sell in the last year based on information year to date or the revolving last 12 months based on the number on the 20th of each month. So dealers earn those allocations by their how they rank within the region as well. And so there has to be an allocation for your order to be able to be selected. So like for this week, we do not have any Maverick allocations, so we will not have any get scheduled. So constraints, options that may be in short supply or take longer to build, so they can't build as many, would be a constraint. Capacity is the production capacity. So if we say they're going to build 50% hybrid on the Maverick, then that there's your capacity of how many orders can be built or be scheduled with that on there. And then job 1 and 2, they usually split the year into 2 jobs. Job 1 is the launch of the new year. Job 2, if they need to make any drastic changes or something because of capacity or supply issues, or maybe they just notice they can do something better, they'll make those changes for the second half of the year, and they call that job 2. And then balance out is when they're finishing out production and scheduling for the balance for the end of production for the model year. Like they've already ended production for the Maverick, so they balanced out the Maverick for 23. Mm-hmm. They're moving on to 24 now at this point. That's what they're scheduling for. All right, so going back, what were you going to say?
About what?
You were going to say something when I pulled that up. No.
Oh, that wasn't showing up.
Slide. Should have. It didn't at first.
It's not. That's not showing.
Oh, should. Scroll back.
I'm live right now.
Yep, see, it showed.
Okay, that one is showing.
Yes.
But that one is not.
No, it's not.
Oh.
This is my information.
Okay.
I don't want them to see that because I can't show them that.
That's right. Okay. I'm making sure that the right I'm using that. Are being shown.
Yes, I'm using that because I don't have it on here on my phone. So okay. I'm using it there instead.
Okay. I'm just making sure what needs to be shown is being shown.
Yes. Nope. This is this is over here. This is not being shown. Okay. Okay. So get into scheduling first for the Mustang 24 model year Mustang. is cleanup scheduling, and cleanup means that if a dealer has an allocation, they want to clean up that allocation so they don't get carried over to the next month. They don't want to carry any unfulfilled allocations from one month to the next. So they call it cleaning up your scheduling for any allocations. And then they want dealers need to go in there. If you don't have any retail orders that would fit what they're looking for, then you need to get some stock orders in there, basically. So they are scheduling for the weeks in October 2nd to the weeks of October 23rd. So that's how I said that, they do that in the future. Dark horse retail orders should be prioritized ahead of stock orders. So basically what they're saying is, if you have a customer who wants to put a dark horse in, make sure that you're using those retail orders for your allocations instead of a stock one. Makes sense. Retail only option is the 5.0 liter GT performance package. That is only available for a retail order. Dealers cannot order those for stock. That's a bummer. Exhausted availability is the optional wheel for the premium EcoBoost and the premium GT, and that is that option 64M. That's a 20-inch by 9-inch premium painted aluminum wheel. Another option that's exhausted availability, which means more than likely won't schedule any, is the Dark Horse handling package, and then also the Mustang Night Pony package. And it does say here, due to limited capacity on the black painted roof. Dealers should consider removing this option on their stock orders if you need to get any allocation scheduled. So, all right. And order banks are open up right now for the 24 Mustang. So if you want to put an order in, you can. All right. There's, 23 Escape. So that is not scheduling this week. And I don't think it's scheduling next month, but we'll get into that later. So there you go. We're going to talk about order bank closing. Well, actually, that one was not one of them, but order banks are open up right now for 24 model year for both gas and plug-in hybrid right now. 24 model year Bronco Sport. It is cleanup scheduling this week for 24 model year. So don't forget about that. For weeks in October 16th through the weeks of October 30th. Limited availability on the tech package, which is optional on the Outer Banks, that 96D option. Exhausted availability for the convenience package, which is 96B on the Big Ben and the free wheel. The free wheeling is not scheduling anyway, so I don't know why that's in there. And then also the exhausted availability on the premium package. It's in the Badlands. So all your optional packages, pretty much, just don't put them. Hopefully you don't have those on your order. If so, you might need to wait until next month's allocations. Also, front and rear splash guards, which again, I say leave your accessories off, except for that cargo management system. If you want that shelf divider, make sure you put that on. Late availability is your black appearance package and your freewheeling series. So those are not available yet. And then order banks are open up for 24 model year for the Bronco Sport right now. So let's see here. 24 Edge is not scheduling this week. There you go. So, and we're going to talk about ST in just a little bit. The order banks are open up right now for that. And this is the last year for the Edge. So if you're wanting an Edge.
24 Escapes are already at the dealerships.
24 Escapes?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No?
Nope. Not possible. They haven't even scheduled for 24 Escape yet.
I'm thinking 23.
23, yes. Yes, we have a bunch. We actually sold 6 or 8 of those last month.
Yeah.
So. All right, 23 model year Bronco. They are scheduling for production weeks in October, the weeks of October 2nd through October 23rd. Of course, we already know. Anyway, actually, I'll just skip some of these lines because we know that stuff. What's not available on 23, because order banks are not open anymore for retail orders for 23. Stock orders are open for 23 model year. If a dealer has an allocation and they don't have any retail orders, they could put a stock order for some of these customers if they wanted to. All right. 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited delayed for production and delayed on scheduling right now. We've talked about that already. It says also they are not allowing for 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited orders as well for 24 model year right now. Cannot put those in. And then also restriction on the shadow black paint on any non-Raptors. So only Raptor can put the black paint color and be scheduled. So if you have black on your vehicle and it's not scheduling, that's why you need to switch colors or put in a 24 model year order at this point. Limited availability for the hardtop. We're talking the 4-door hardtop is very exhausted. Heritage Standard Series says is limited availability, and Raptor limited availability. Best configuration right now available: 2-door Wild Track, 2-door Badlands, 2-door Outer Banks. I didn't think I'd ever hear that. 2-door Wild Track, Badlands, or Outer Banks is the best configuration available right now. Exhaustive availability on the Big Bend, believe it or not. Heritage Limited we knew about, and also 5-door hardtops. So if you got a cloth top order out there and you have a 2-door Wild Track, Badlands, Outer Banks, you're probably looking good. Probably if you do a cloth top Wild Track or Badlands or Outer Banks, you're probably okay as well. But there we go. No mentioning of deluxe package and stuff like that, and also no mention of Sasquatch. So there you go. Order banks are open up for 24 with the exception of 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited. All right. 23 Explorer cleanup scheduling this week for production weeks, the weeks of October 2nd through the week of October 23rd. So it could be scheduled any of those weeks in there. That's important. Okay. Let me read this first because I want to talk about some things. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. There you go. Yeah, I'll read that stuff later. I didn't read this ahead of time, so sorry. All right. Don't forget to add the 360-degree camera removal option. That's 60x to anything with a 360 camera. Base 100A are for retail orders only. I wouldn't be surprised in 23 we see that go away completely. See, limited availability is option 99B, which is your 3.3 liter engine. Also limited availability for base. The limited version, just the base limited. Also 4-wheel drive is limited availability. XLT Sport Appearance Package, the Class 4 trailer tow package, as well as the twin pedal roof. All those are limited availability. So they'll schedule some, but not very many. And then exhausted availability, which you probably won't see these scheduled, is your ST line and your ST high performance package. So there you go. So stock orders are open right now for 23 Explorer, but retail orders are not. They're closed. All right. And we'll talk about, we'll talk about 23 model year order bank closing here in a second. 24 Ranger, no scheduling this week, and they're not scheduling next month as well. So there you go. So really, I mean, none of these restrictions really matter anyway. Order banks are open up right now for 24 model year Ranger. And then don't forget, you need to, if you have an FX4 package, you need to add your running boards. So
whether it be a sport. Someone asked the question about that.
What?
There you go.
About the running board on the Ranger?
Ranger FX4.
Yes. If you have an FX4 Ranger, you have to add a running board. So if you have the Chrome appearance package, you got to add the Chrome boards, which is 18E. If you have the Sport appearance package, which is standard on your Rangers this year, then you need to add option 18D. If you have the FX4 off-road package, it requires a running board. There you go. Don't know why. Just you are. 24 Maverick. Cleanup scheduling for the weeks of October 16th through October 30th. Exhaust availability in the splash guards and your hard trifold bed cover. I don't know why you'd have any of these on there. If you've been watching my videos, you know how I feel about those. Take those accessories off of your orders, especially the tonneau covers, splash guards at a very small number that get scheduled. And then retail order banks are open up for 24 Maverick. Don't forget, they are scheduling at 50%. And next month, which I think is starting of next week, it'll be 52% hybrid, 48% EcoBoost.
Yep.
Crazy. 24 model year Expedition, no scheduling this week. Just a note in there, if you do have an order in on a Platinum, that you make sure that it has the optional 22-inch wheel. Also, make sure that you you add option 88R, which is to remove the multi-contoured seats. Again, still having chip issues with those multi-contoured seats on Expedition. And let's see what else. Order banks are open up for 24 Expedition. 24 Super Duty. We're startup scheduling is happening this week. It looks like. Thought maybe that was going to start next week, but it looks like it's starting up this week. The constraints are smaller. That's good. Okay, so this won't take as long. It says, anyway, okay. So it says limited availability options. Actually says exhaustive availability unlimited still, and limited availability on the F550. So keep that in mind as we start with 24 model year. Limited availability for the 20-inch chrome wheel on your single wheel only. That's option 649. Probably part of the chrome package on the Lariat, I'd assume. Also, the 193-inch wheelbase that's optional on your XL and XLT F450, 550, and 600 chassis cabs are limited. And then also the transfer case that is standard on the F600 4x4s with the gas and diesel engines, and the 93-inch wheelbase or 205-inch wheelbase chassis cabs. That's that transfer case. So that is limited, as well as the low running frame, which is optional to F450, F550 with all diesel engines, or the 7.3 gas with the 179-inch wheelbase. So still some issues there. Now, there are a couple options that are exhausted still already at the launch that were probably carried over from last model year, and that is option 64C, the 18-inch bright machine in carbonized gray painted wheel, which is standard on the Lariat, is exhausted. The 4x2 Dana axle, the option that is optional on the F450, F550, F600 with a dually and 4x4 pickup or two-wheel drive chassis cabs. And then the Dana axle M315 rear that is optional on the F350, 450, 600 dualies with the diesel 6.7 diesel engine. And then the 205-inch wheelbase, which is optional on the XL and XLT chassis, is exhausted. Heavy-duty alternator, which is standard on the XL gas, that is also exhausted. So you should think about replacing it with one of the other alternators. And then also option 15K, the fifth wheel hitch kit. Right? It's not optional on the F250 and 350 King Ranch Platinum and Limited. So those are standard on those, but there you go. So not as many as we've seen in the past, but still. And order banks are open up on the 24 Super Duty, of course. 23 F-150, they are scheduled this week for the weeks of October 16th and October 23rd. I'll talk about order bank closing in a second. They are closing this week. Dealers will have the ability to submit restock orders. No other constraints. Oh, powertrain types. Your hybrid gas will no longer be. Okay. No, we'll talk about that in a second. So, all right. Order banks will be closing soon, and we'll talk a little bit about 24 here in just a second. 23 model year F-150 Lightning. They are scheduled for the weeks of 10/16 and 10/23 as well. Those 2 weeks, order banks are open up on the 23 F-150 Lightning. In fact, we are looking for orders. So if you want to order, we have a special going on right now that I put out on different forums and social media that I'm going to clue in to everybody else and make it available. So we have 20 allocations for the Lightning this next week. It's going to start next week. It may start this week. Actually, we have 6 that could schedule this week.
Yeah.
So we have 6 allocations for this week, plus another 20 next month. So we have 26 Lightnings that could get scheduled. So because of that, we're offering $2,500 below MSRP on an XLT order and $5,000 below MSRP on a Lariat or Platinum order. So you can order online, choose us as your dealer, and I'll do that deal. So if you want to email us first just to make sure that's all legit, we can do that. You can email me tbartz@lawmacarthur.com, and we'll get that. Of course, I'll be here, so I'm not answering a lot of emails, or you can just place that order, and you're going to get that deal. So we've already let the sales guys know that's a deal going on. Pretty good deal for you. And the shipping deal we have for YouTube is still in place as well on top of that. So if you want it shipped to your door, you finance at standard rates. There's actually better rates right now, so I don't really advertise that too much because you might want to take the great rates because, again, don't forget, you order now, you lock in incentives of when you ordered. So right now it's like 3.9% for 60 months, which is a pretty good deal on the Lightning. So you might take that instead of our free shipping, and it might save you more money than that. Just come pick up your vehicle. And so anyway, so there you go. That offer's out there. 23 Mustang Mach-E, no scheduling this week. Order banks are open for retail and stock orders, except for a stock Route 1. 23 model year Transit Connect van is scheduling for the weeks of October 2nd through the weeks of October 23rd. No constraints. Order banks are closed, and this is the end of Transit Connect. Transit Connect wagon is not scheduled this week, and order banks are closed for that as well. 23 model year Transit, so they're scheduled for the week of October 23rd. So any dealer has an allocation. Again, we're still working off of August allocations. Order banks are closed for 23 Transit, including the Transit Trail. Stock ones can be put in. They're looking for BEV orders. That's your E-Transit. Some of the things to remember, that 3.5 EcoBoost engine that's been a constraint, that is for retails only. So what they're looking for there, that's going to get carried over to next year. Also, it says 61E, the high-res camera, temporarily available for stock orders. So, and then limited availability on the high roof jumbo bus, the high roof long bus, the medium roof crew van bus, all four-wheel drives, and then the trail package is limited availability. The vented wheel arch moldings, heavy-duty front axle, the 10-way power driver and passenger ebony leather, as well as the AM/FM stereo with the 4-inch multi-function display with the Bluetooth and USB ports. Exhausted availability and 360-degree camera. So you need to try to switch that high-res camera if you can. Balanced out completely is your power running boards, the side barn doors, all crew van body types, the Transit 350 heavy-duty dually, the chassis cabs and cutaways, and then the depopulated key fob, of course, as well. And then not available for stock orders is the 3.5 Eco, I just mentioned that, and the 360-degree camera on your for ICE. So there you go. That's that.